Zlurpcast!
Question of the day. What does it pay? That is the question. Who here works for free? Show of hands. Anyone? Show of hands?
I have.
Who? No. I mean, can you pay your mortgage on a free job?
No.
You know, when they say, hey, would you mind, you're an artist, right? Would you mind drawing something? I mean, no money, but it'll be good for your portfolio.
Exposure. I'll give you exposure.
Yeah. Can I pay my mortgage with exposure? Just checking. Does the bank care about that?
Artists don't have mortgages. They can't afford it.
That's a good point. They have rent, though.
Yeah.
So when you choose to volunteer to help out your favorite game company, you got to realize what you're getting into. So this video is a cautionary tale from, I know 3 of the 4 of us have all given up our time on a pro boner basis, but 1 has not. Biran, before we get into what we've done, have you ever volunteered for a game company?
No. I have volunteered for a game store.
Right.
Does that count?
I'm going to say no.
Okay. Then no.
Okay. Because, I mean, it counts for, you know, a thing you did for free, but
Right.
I think that a game store is a lot more appreciative of what you've done, and you're already part of the community. You know,
I wouldn't volunteer if I didn't personally know the owner.
Right. And also, you're not trying to gain anything. I think a lot of people that volunteer to help out game companies, I'm talking about Games Workshop, Outriders, they used to be called, Privateer Press, Press Gangers. They all have dumb names, by the way.
Mantics, Gangbangers.
Gangbangers, Pathfinders.
Glory Holes.
Glory Holes, Malifaux, whatever they're called. Yeah. Cloppers, Floppers, Toppers, they all have different names. They're always like a name. And what do you get? You get a shirt, you get a modest discount, you get to stand for 10 plus hours, you get to sweat at a con. And I think a lot of people that do this, and give me your thoughts, I think a lot of people that do this think it's their foot in the door to working for a game company. Do you think that, or you just think this sounds fun?
I think it is. I think it has happened. It does happen sometimes.
It does happen. It doesn't always happen. But I think that people think if I volunteer enough, maybe they'll hire me. It's like in jobs. So like in radio, radio is a very competitive industry because everyone wants to work at something fun. There aren't people trying to work for free at some boring office space type job. The jobs that people want to work for free at as a foot in the door are the ones that I'm trying just to make a name for myself because so many people want to do this. I put game companies in that I want to volunteer. So that way, when the time comes where you need a community manager or whatever, regional sales, whatever, maybe a store, maybe like opening up a store or something. I want to be one of the people you think about because you remember me at that con. I did 50 demos of this game, so hire me because of that.
I think it's also, I think there's a component of that, but I think also a lot of it is perceived clout.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe not for some games, but you know the type.
Yeah.
I kind of run this thing. People.
Yeah. I kind of run this thing. I see that being a like, you know, I'm flexing my game boner right now. I'm telling you, I'm 362 other days of the year. I'm nothing. I am the lowest of the low at my company. My family and relationship is not where it needs to be. I'm garbage. I'm trash. But for 3 days of this con per year, I am the shiznit. I am the
king of the nerds.
No drinks on the table. Hey, all rules questions go to me. Like those 3 days, you want to be the man. And there is some perceived clout there. There's
no real clout. There's perceived.
no, there's not. But so like on a rules committee, if you worked on the rules by default because no one else had time or wanted to, you now are like, well, as a rules committee member, blah, 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 blah.
Anyone that says as a blank.
Yeah.
Trash.
Right. It
Sorry,
should read as a person who worked for free, comma.
Right.
That's what it should be.
As a sucker.
Yeah. So let's go around the table here and talk about times we've demoed games for companies and what we expected to get out of it and what we really did get out of it. Xtreme, have you ever done it? Like, would you Blood Bowl? Would you say you've done this for or no?
I've done Blood Bowl at some game stores, but not at a convention.
Not for Games Workshop, for the store, right?
No.
Have you ever done it?
Well, yes, I did it at a Games Workshop store.
Well, okay. Did you?
With-
I know you didn't get a
with-
paycheck. Did you at least get 2 15s and a 30?
No. And I would say that was different than the normal game store because I wasn't part of that community. I only go there a couple times a year. So it was kind of like working for free.
What were you trying to get out of it?
Got nothing and felt nothing.
And
So like prom.
I don't know. I don't remember what I was hoping to get out of it at that time. I think I was a little flattered just to be asked because they approached me and asked me to do it.
They knew you. They knew of you.
yeah, you're the guy that has his own
So I did
jersey.
it.
But
You're
you
the-
have done things like, and I don't know if this is a separate part of it, JP, painting tutorial type stuff.
Yeah, and I do think that's one of the more positive things you can do because like I can volunteer for painting, and the way I always looked at that is like I'm training to get to the point where I can charge people for this.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet, but this is practice to see if I can actually get to that point where people will pay me this.
Like how a whore might give a blowjob for free when she's just starting out.
Sure.
Well, I mean, if she's doing it for free, she's not a whore.
Right. Slut looking to become a whore.
Right. Just for the job you want,
Right.
not for the job you have. Who said the quote? I don't remember, but I know it was if you do something well, don't do it for free.
Yeah.
Someone said it. I don't know who. I'm not going to look it up. But I will say, Xtreme, you doing free painting tutorials to work up to charging, I think that's wrong. I think you should start on day one charging.
Well, the part that I wasn't good at was the teaching part. So that's what I was kind of getting used to.
Yeah, but my point is, this is the equivalent of when someone wants you to throw something in, whether that's, things I do at work, like, hey, can you just do this like as a value add? It's like, well, now the perceived value is 0.
Yeah.
And that goes with labor too. That goes with, if you did it for free once, to some people, you have to win them back to say, well, now it's worth something.
Yeah,
Just
I get that.
So I think
I believe I offered to pay you for a painting class, but I think the pay was just lunch or something. Does that count?
No, was there's a lot more to that because you're a friend. So I was gonna. You also offered me a place to stay. So
Yeah.
it was room and food.
he also meant there's a lot
So
more.
basically what, slavery was. You get room and board.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see Biran as a plantation owner, but in a different era, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that in general, I don't know if this comes of age or if you get burnt enough times or whatever, but time is worth money. And like, there is a certain type of person that may love something so much that they don't see that or let that cloud their judgment. That goes with painting, for example. So if I buy painted models, I don't mind spending 3 times the model's retail cost for a nicely painted. Because I'm like, all right, I'm looking at the time that's spent on there. If a person really loves painting, I've bought some like maybe 10, 20 bucks over retail, or like not even a lot over retail, like man,
Sometimes retail for the models. Sometimes.
Yeah, you must really love painting, or don't value, or is this something you do, or whatever. But I think in general, people need to respect their time and energy and their talent. And that goes with just painting. That goes with working for a game company. I think that, Mike, for Mantic mostly, and I mean, I don't want to talk about Blood Bowl tournaments because that's a whole different animal, and we'll have a tournament episode on that. But you were a Mantic Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Right?
And I've done that, and I've done I was a press ganger when that whole program first started.
For War Machine?
Yeah. Well, first edition.
Man. So
I was thinking I would have worn my shirt today, but
so basically doing this, going into it, was your thought free product? Because I know you didn't care about foot in the door.
No. It was, both of these were games that I liked. I wanted to promote, there's a payback with that as well. Cause if you can, show the game, demo the game, it helps the company, which may actually help the game that I enjoy playing.
You're trying to
also, you might, teach new people how to play.
You're trying to sound like a do-gooder. Like you're trying to sound like a try-hard. And on this show, we have a don't give a fuck attitude. Right now, you're trying to grow the community and help out a company. I'm not buying it.
I'd buy it with Mike. If any of us else said that, I would say bullshit. But with Mike, I buy it.
I think he wanted a couple blisters under the table.
Well, I mean, for like the press gang, they actually did have a program. It sucked, and I got nothing out of it because they were constantly changing community managers, whatever it was called back then. So, but yeah, I mean, most of the stuff I don't really, to be honest with you, most of the product that I got from Mantic, I put it in the charity auction for Chaos Cup. So it's not like it ever goes into my hand. It just,
and the way you look at it that way, the time you spent and the energy went to a good cause.
Yeah.
So if you just kind of follow the money, as Biran would say, follow the money there. And I did all this work for free. I was given this product. Product went to this bin of things that people would throw tickets in for. The money gained went to a charity.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Ipso facto, you did philanthropic work for that.
Where can you put that on your tax form?
That's the main. Yeah, that's the reason why we do it. So
while you mention that, I mean, the money that we get from the charity auction goes to the charity, and you get a receipt for it, so it does go on your tax form.
On yours?
If I'm the one that did it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, tax laws nowadays, it doesn't really matter, but
I always thought you had to give like such a high amount that it never was worth it anyway.
Well, there's an amount where you don't have to even provide proof.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. It was about 5 years ago. I mean, I don't do, Katie does the taxes, so whatever. But nowadays, she's like, it doesn't matter.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you did the Mantic work, you were running demos or tournaments or both?
It was demos. It was a tournament too. Yeah, it was Gencon tournaments and demos too.
So when you're running a free event at a con, would you say, I mean, we did an episode on gaming conventions. It's all the way up at the top, all the way up there. The little rectangle shows up. You can click that and watch that one whenever. It's all the way up there, all the way up there. We talked about fatigue at these cons, not taking care of yourself, hydrated, food, just all around doing the right thing at these things. Would you say, because I know for me, when you volunteer for something, it's almost like I've given my body as well as my mind to this entire day, because I don't remember to fucking take a piss half the time or to ask for a break. Like, ask for a break. I got to go talk to Dan and Gary to try to get a 15. Like, I'm working for free. If I'm on chicken fingers, I'm going to get chicken fingers. They're going to suck anyway, so let me go and get them. I find that when I run events at a con, I am beyond exhausted. Did you get that?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm used to it. So I enjoy running the con. I enjoy running the not the con, the tournaments at the cons. You do get a lot of downtime, so
Depends on the game.
Yeah.
If your game is in demand, you don't. I remember when I was working the Mantic booth, right when Age of Sigmar started. And so my job that day was to find people who used to play Warhammer Fantasy, because they're going to come by and go, oh, what is this? And I'd be like, hey, what army you play, man? Bretonians? Try to get their Warhammer Fantasy Battles juices flowing, then do a Kings of War demo for them, and then show them the book, the second edition book when it came out.
Yeah.
That was my job that day. I had zero fucking downtime. It was non-stop at Gencon. Gencon.
Yeah, Gencon,
Non-stop. The only time I got downtime was the next day when I did Dungeon Saga, because it was Dungeon Saga and nobody cared that much, even though that's way more of a Gen Con game than Kings of War is. But that day, it was unbelievable. And I was surprised because, as we've all known, Gen Con doesn't have the Games Workshop Gen Con thing has never happened.
Yeah.
I remember back in the Milwaukee days, I'm talking to Gav Thorpe for a half hour. Why? Because no one's at the GW booth at Gen Con. Because who the fuck cares about Games Workshop at Gen Con? You care about everything else. But that day, it was exhausting. The whole day was these 3-turn demos I did nonstop. And it was, I didn't get anything for it. They gave me an Orc box set that I was supposed to get anyway for free. So my payment was that.
What does that work out to as hour value? How much do you think you made per hour?
Well, it's technically 0 times 0 equals 0, because I was supposed to get that anyway. But let's say that truly was the payment. I think it's an $80 box for the Orc starter set. And it was at least an 8-hour day, probably a 10-hour day. So $8 an hour, in plastic. Mm-hmm. That you could probably buy half price at Grognard Games. So $40. So $4.
Or $20 on a Facebook Marketplace.
Or $20 on a Facebook post, yes. Or free if you're doing inventory in the shed,
If it falls to the ground, you can have.
That's right. That's the rule. It's like the floor is lava. There's just rules. It's the ground, that's yours. I was happy to do it, and I volunteered to do it, and I did it like we, whenever we commit to something, we do it to the best of our ability. But I don't know. It would have been so much better to just hang out and not at the time, though. I think that was around the time I really wanted to work for Mantic, because it was right when I left radio the last time. So I think it was, for me, part of a foot in the door. I don't know if I would have done it otherwise, And
you have to think the end game. Let's say you do get hired at Mantic. How much could you really expect to make working for them?
I applied for a marketing job. They wanted them all in the UK, so that was out. So then I did sales for 3 months, and I made virtually nothing. So generating new business, I called probably 300 game stores, and I have to hear hour-long conversations with game shop owners about why they are the best in the business at what they do. And the moment I got a sale, I then went to the staff to take it over, because it was no longer a new business development anymore. It was over. Now it's account retention, So I made virtually nothing. And it wasn't going anywhere. And I realized that after that happened for me, I thought, how many other people did what I did? Thought it would be fun, but also thought I would like to work here one day. And, I think about Good Spencer in his Guild Ball days. Yep. He was the #1 Guild Ball fan that I knew. And then meanwhile, I see him one day and he's like, I fucking hate this. This is terrible. And he's just in a mood like I've never seen him before. And I knew exactly where he was coming from volunteer exhaustion at a con. It ruins the experience. And you got to have the right personality. You got to be someone, and Mike's probably closest of all of us with it, but you got to be like a John Jack, where he works for Mantic now. Great guy, Blood Bowl guy, Dread Ball guy, all that. He seems like nothing phases him. negativity does not phase that person. And that's the kind of person you have to be, I think, to be a game volunteer. Like, you can't let long hours, no pay, annoying people, you can't let any of that get to you. You got to just love it.
Sucker. Got to be a sucker.
Yeah. Well, and if you're that kind of person, usually you're just a talented person all around. You might not be quick to give up your time. So how do you find, it's like, we want to find the best person ever and pay them nothing. So pay them equivalent to the garbage person. Well, you don't want the garbage person. You want the great person. Well, the great person deserves to be paid. It just won't happen.
Well,
So,
there are, like, I would say John, Jack, and also Mike enjoy when they're doing it, they enjoy it.
Yeah, and there's
I have no beef with people volunteering if they genuinely enjoy it.
yeah, I mean,
there's a, if you do this enough, you do build a sense of community. You work with the same people who are also volunteering. It's just, you become friends with these people and you hang out with them and you've got these shared experiences. And yeah,
the volunteers know you will get laid that weekend if you work for free. They know there's a community. They know this.
You won't get to pick who with, but you will find someone.
Well, it's going to be with each other. It's a round robin of sorts. Yeah, each game, you just kind of like go shift one down now.
I'm not gay, but it was his turn. So
yeah, I'm not gay, but I'm a press ginger. He's a malaphoner. So
Malaboner.
I think that if you're watching this and you've done it, you know what we're talking about. If you haven't before, not a discouraging, but just kind of understand that it doesn't always lead to what you think it's going to lead to. So do it because you love running gaming events. It will be a long day. And if a discount on product or some free product means that much to you, go for it. Some people are at different stations in life where free product probably does mean something to them, or a free badge. What's a Gencon badge now, Mike? $120?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I mean, you volunteer for a day, your badge is covered. To a lot of people, that's a good deal.
And if you're volunteering and you're also selling stuff at their booth, someone pays you in cash, that's your money. That's your pay.
Well,
No.
I think
That's
the
your
cash
pay.
register is only one way of collecting funds.
Right.
I think it's foolish to think that this archaic machine in front of you is the only way.
Yeah.
Put a few in the pockets. You'll track it later.
Yeah. You'll remember.
Yeah.
Mental notes.
It's a different column on someone's spreadsheet. Don't worry about it.
No one accurately tracked all the inventory that went into the con booth.
They never did. They never did.
I would say there's different levels to it though. Like volunteering for a game company, I could see doing it again, even though my time is more valuable now than it used to be. If it were like the right situation, smaller companies, usually I would probably be more willing to help out than the bigger companies. They could find whoever. There's plenty of people that would do that. But the thing I never understood and still don't understand is people that volunteer for the conventions. So like Gencon, like you volunteer so many hours to get a free badge, but by the time you calculate all the hours you volunteered, you have like 4 hours left to enjoy your free badge.
Yeah.
So what the hell is the point?
You're saying it would have been better to link up with a company and get one of their badges?
No, I just think it's better to help game companies than game conventions. And it shouldn't be that way, but they should look at this argument as, oh, we need to treat our volunteers better.
Well, isn't that how it is though? Like, so I think like when I did the Mantic thing, I got a free badge, but it was one of theirs. Like it was, they had an allotment. So I knew the days I was working, it still was not cost effective or time, whatever you want to call it. It was not good use of my time, but I didn't volunteer for Gen Con. I only volunteered for them, but it was a badge with their name because it came out of their group.
And I'm saying that way makes sense, but you can actually volunteer for Gen Con, but their requirements for how many hours you have to put in to get a free badge are insane. Like you have to
So
be
how does it work for volunteers for Adepticon that has no badge entry fee? You could go to Adepticon and not spend a dime.
Like you have to run an event to get a badge that would cost nothing anyway.
Well, the badge costs money, but you don't need a badge to go like you do for Gen Con.
Right. The only reason to buy a badge is either if you want the stuff and you want to play in events.
Right.
That's it. And that's a lot to most people, but to a lot of people, I will tell you, I'm actually still shocked that Adepticon is free for visitors.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like their mission statement or what, where no matter what happens, no matter how big we get, we still want walk-ins. It's cool.
I think it's just because the guys that run, like, I bet you if they were to sell off Adepticon to some private company, that would go away.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
That's the first thing is you aren't charging for admission.
Here's the money you're leaving on the table.
Right.
I buy a badge even though I don't get the one with the swag and I don't even do events sometimes. I buy the badge because I'm like, you know what? This is a great event. I want to support it.
And you want to tell people about it on the show.
Yeah. I don't even wear the badge. It stays in my pocket.
It's like Kramer with the AIDS ribbon. Like, it doesn't matter what I support. You have to tell people what you support.
Right.
I think
But
that
I see like Adepticon, they have the staff shirts or the red shirts with the staff on it. And like, what are you guys getting out of it?
well, I don't want those because I don't want people asking me questions. I don't
Right.
want someone to go, hey, excuse me, where's Euphoria Hall? Like, don't ask me. I'm going to the fucking bathroom.
Yeah.
Don't ask me where Euphoria Hall is.
I'm off the
That's even
clock.
weird.
But it's like, how much of that is the clout thing?
Yeah, it is close.
Yeah.
I think Euphoria Hall is maybe a little party going on in someone's room at the moment. Go check with Robe Guy, you know.
Well, and how many of them are just they're buddies of the guys that run it? So that's why.
I mean, it's a lot of it's just community, you know. You do it. Someone's got to do it. It's a good event.
I don't like
good
communities that let
convention.
everyone in.
I'm going to disagree.
Not everyone's going to do that. Some people just want to go there and play, and that's fine.
I'm going to disagree a little bit, Mike. On paper, it's all about community, but the game companies, it's free labor to them. They don't give a shit about because if they truly gave a shit about growing the community, every game company would have a staff member that ran events, and it's their job. And they got a stake in the company, so they're going to try a little harder than a volunteer. So if it truly was about community, I think, wouldn't you think they'd want essentially their business in the best hands possible, i.e. an employee, not a volunteer for free?
But a lot of these companies can't afford to send that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you can have a lot of these companies don't have 6, 8, 10 staff members, you know.
If you can do a Kickstarter that hits a couple 100,000, you could afford a person. That's all I'm saying.
I thought you were going to do a Kickstarter for a person.
Well, that should be
Stretch goal. We're going to pay our employees.
Or if you pledge $100, you get to work for free. Like, wait a minute, working for free and I'm paying you? Now this
You
is
get a shirt, but you have to pay another $100 for it to be the right size.
Right, right. I just think that when you see people that are like Cool Mini or not, and they're like demoing games, like there should be employees doing that shit. They got money to buy that. You know, I don't know.
Well, people always assume like even a company like GW is this huge, massive conglomerate. It's actually not that big staff-wise, as big as you think.
It's not, but there is money there.
Yeah.
I just think if it's truly that important, you'd have someone doing it.
Would they rather have someone demoing a game or someone making sales calls?
Yeah, but think about it this way: if you've got volunteers writing your rules for you as well, how much do you really care about quality?
Yeah,
you know, inmates running the asylum. If you're okay with that, then that's fine. I wouldn't do it. If let's say the four of us had a game company. There's four people. That's it. That's the whole company. The four of us. We outsourced our models to Creature Caster. We outsourced our 3D thing to this. But the four of us are the company. One of us each day will be demoing games.
Yeah.
Like,
well, a lot of smaller companies do that. Like Sean Sutter, he demos games at his tiny little booth.
Yeah. Exactly, and he's awesome.
And he's the only guy at it.
People that Free Blades.
Yeah,
it's those guys and women. It's I think.
You had to think if there one is there one. Yes.
Why did you say it like it was like a?
Well, you had to think if there was a woman there.
No, there definitely is. I was catching myself.
Like it was
those people, I see the same four people every day, every convention, and they are hustling.
Good.
They are running all the demos. They're doing the sales. They are doing everything.
I love that because also if you're a new fan of that game, I mean, I don't know. To me, I think it's kind of cool. You remember those people now, and you're going to remember them each time. There's something about like, it's like if you were to get into a band and like whatever album you got into, that's always your favorite album by them. Like you got into a game, you remember the moment you went to their booth, you talked to the guy who did this. Maybe it was Ronnie at Mantic. Maybe it was Sean at Iron Metal Lion.
Relic Blade guy.
Relic
Oh,
Blade.
yeah.
I always forget the name. Iron King. I don't. Metal King.
Metal King.
Yep. That's part of the self lore of you getting into the game. I remember talking to the Drop Zone guy. Dude, do you know that guy did everything? What? That guy did everything? He did everything. He wrote this. He did this. He sculpted this. I really think when you have volunteers doing all that, you lose a huge amount of that connection that you have going like straight to the source.
I bought stuff from GW. You know what GW doesn't do? A handmade drawing in every book I order, like Sean Sutter does.
You don't. Now, if you buy books used, you might get a drawing.
Yeah, it'll be a dick, yeah.
Dick and balls, and then it says like Robert's Codex, like written in there. So that way, when you're at the game store, you know Robert's Codex is not yours. Like, I'm gonna steal it if I see it's Robert's Codex.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna take it. Like there was, so the bunker, this is a great story because it doesn't exist anymore, I can tell it. What's this statue of limitations at the bunker? The Bretonian guy used to be at the statue of limitations on the outside. They had the big catalog and it said store copy. They wrote on the, not the binding, but what's the other side of the binding called? Like the, you know, the paper part.
Yeah.
It wrote store copy. I'm taking this.
Mm-hmm.
And I took that book and that became the shitter version of that. Because the pages were all falling out. I knew in a pinch, if I didn't have toilet paper, I can use, no offense, Mike, but the Mordheim page that came out, you know. I'm never, you know, not using the Blood Bowl one, I loved it. It said store copy. I'm like, this is kind of cool. It's like,
it has lore now.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like watching a TV show. And like, it would never happen in real life, but like the high school football team steals the other team's mascot. Like that happens in movies and TV shows. To me, that's what that was. Like I'm taking the store copy of this free. It was already free, I think, right? Wasn't that guide free anyway, or no? Or was it? I don't know. But whatever.
We had to pay for that one, but yeah.
Oh,
big one.
Yeah, the big one. That's right. I don't know what I was saying, but it was fun to steal that.
It wasn't much. It was $5, but still.
Yeah, it was something though. That was a fun read. We've talked about that in the past, but I just think that I really like it when you go to a convention, and there's some interaction with that company. I guess is my point. I'm not saying you should never have volunteers. Don't get me wrong, but I really think it's abused big time, and you're playing off of the level of enthusiasm by someone who really likes your game a lot, and free product, discounted product, and the thought of a job prospect. None of that. Like I don't know. I just think it's kind of a bit much. I think there should be people doing that from the company more often.
What about in cases where it's like, I am a press ganger, but for my local area, I organize all the events. Obviously, they're not going to afford to send people out to every little district to do this. Are you talking just about volunteering at conventions?
Probably more conventions, because I mean, when you guys have demoed stuff and we've done at game stores, it's not the same. You get to go home afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like the sleeping in your own bed thing. When I've demoed stuff at stores, I don't feel shitty afterwards. One, it wasn't that long of a day. And also I'm helping the store, and it's like you said, my community building, because that guy you did a demo for, or girl, as you say.
But unlikely, yes.
Guy or girl, that might be a future opponent and you get to play. At a con though, that fucking return is nothing. Like, I mean, it is exhausting as hell. So
it's also good to have Mike do it, because Mike can vet these people for us to know if they're cool or not.
Yeah. But I mean,
Todd's good at that too. Todd's good at playing matchmaker.
Todd's good, but I mean, Todd has the ulterior motive of a customer.
Yeah.
Mike's a little more.
But I'm also the easiest grader too. So
yeah.
You are the easiest grader, but
you know the audience you're dealing with.
But you also, money doesn't cloud your gatekeeping.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Todd's a little different in that regard. Like, this guy's kind of a prick, but he just dropped $1,000.
Yeah. So you're gonna play with him.
Bro, guess what? He's not a prick anymore, you guys. No,
What's funny is my volunteering at Grognard's was just, so I think I helped haul the carpet squares because I had my pickup truck, and I parlayed that to about $5,000 in free Monster energy drinks. So that's good.
That's pretty good.
I mean, and I helped put up a peg wall, slat wall.
And where are those Monster drinks now? You've pissed them all out, right?
Yeah. I'm sure there's still some debris in my kidneys, though.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good, I think. One of those ingredients I can't pronounce is probably still in there.
Guanine.
I got a little bit of yellow 6 still in my bladder anyway.
Yeah.
You know, whatever that is. Yeah, I just think that if the local side of it I think is different. Volunteering for a game locally is more like Xtreme said, you're volunteering for the store than the game. The game could be anything. The game just happens to be what you're playing that day. When you volunteer for a game company, it's a different set of goals and expectations and results. That's all.
Did I tell you my first time volunteering to help something out with Todd was at Crooked Hat Games? He did a week long, like a 3-day paint, like you buy a box and then he had a guy come in and do paint lessons. Some really good, well-known painter did them. And then at the end, if you finished, you got another free box of whatever you want. And we played a game with whatever unit box we made. Todd made me run a game with this crazy girl that had a mental breakdown. And ever since then, I don't want to volunteer for anything.
Wow. Did you know that she actually has a podcast talking about you right now?
Probably.
She's like, I got a demo from this crazy guy and I never want to play games again.
And I think Todd knew because she previously had a mental breakdown with a Magic game.
Wow. Well,
He set me up.
Once you go Magic, it's hard to bring them back to something normal.
I think we were playing Lord of the Rings miniature game.
That's a tough one because Lord of the Rings, you're going to get crossover.
Yeah, you're going to get girls that like it. Like I didn't get
normie influence too on that one.
Yeah, because it was right when the movies came out.
Yeah. Then they realize these models are metal and they're hard to put together. Like, I'm out.
And the plastic ones have zero detail and look like shit.
Zero detail. Other than like, why are all these spears bent? It's metal. Sorry.
Why does that chainmail like one solid block between his legs?
I had a Sauron model and the whole crown was all just destroyed. Like, because it was supposed to be like metal crown. And it's going to be like a Blood Bowl. I think it was going to use him like as a, I don't know, like a dark elf ogre or something back in the day or whatever. And it was just like the worst. Looked cool, but from an assembly.
I saw the Fell Beast. That actually works pretty good.
Yeah.
But the scale's out of, it's more true 28, I think.
Yeah, it was on purpose.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to think like, so in your case, Biran, if Sean Sutter were to ask you for some help at Adepticon 2022, you're gonna say, well, what do you need? I need someone to do Relic Blade demos for the day. I'll give you a blah, 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 whatever. $100, whatever. Are you saying yes or are you saying no?
I'm saying no.
Okay.
Mainly because I'm not the guy he wants doing it.
You-
Because I like him and his game, I would say you need someone more like Mike with his temperament to do this.
yeah, but
let's say I was the person you'd want.
you could also put an act on though. Like
Right,
when needed, like when there's been normies around, you don't say a lot of racist or sexist things. Like you,
Like I normally do, yeah.
you have a filter. You like to pretend you don't because it sounds cooler if you don't
Edgy.
have
It makes me
but you do. And if you were demoing games, you would do it with a level of respect. Is that a compensation issue or no?
No, because like whatever I want from him, I would just buy. I don't know if I'd be able to commit to a whole 8 hours. I think I would go nuts.
If he says, really, it's tough right now. I don't have, my games not many people know about it yet. I have a feeling if I don't get a volunteer, we're probably not gonna be able to run the tournaments.
All right, well, sucks to be you.
Boom. Mike, same question.
Depends what I done the convention and what I had, but
let's say you had nothing on.
I'd be far more likely to do that than Biran would for sure. But
if you had no other,
I don't mind it as much.
Yeah.
I've done it for years. I will probably continue to do it, although probably less. But
all 4 days.
No, I couldn't do that.
Okay, so you do have a line.
Oh yeah.
He's a sucker, but he's not a bitch.
Xtreme, I don't know what game to say for you. What first off, before you answer the question, Xtreme, what game would it take to even ask the question?
I mean, I'd be more willing for any of the smaller companies. Like if for your previous example, I would be more willing to help him, but not for 4 days. That's insane. But if it was Rivet Wars, like if Ted Terranova gets Rivet Wars going on his own and it's not Cool Mini or Not anymore, yeah, it'd be all about that because it's a game that I enjoy. I'm trying to get more people to play it. I'm not really looking for compensation there as much as I'm looking for other things. I'm not expecting anything, I guess.
Game convention in Indianapolis. You find out through the grapevine that because Blood Bowl has new rules, they need someone to show off these new rules. Are you helping out for 1 day?
I'd probably have to learn the new rules first. So,
but it's not a no.
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. Just curious. I think that it's probably for you more about keeping a struggling game afloat, right?
Yeah. Because I feel like at that point they need help. So I'm offering the help. I'm not expecting anything in return.
Is it for the bigger ones, someone else can do it and someone else probably will do it?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of fanboys that will step up and do that for, their whatever squad of minis that they're going to get for the game. I'll go and support you with my dollars rather than my time in that case.
Kind of like, when we talk about the King of Kong documentary, the guy that keeps the score, he says, if he didn't do it, nobody else would.
I would love for Xtreme to do a demo at Adepticon just so I could come up and he'd ask me, are you interested in trying this demo? And I go, no. Just as a goof.
I can see you coming up to him and like whatever he's holding, knock it out of his hands and yell nerd and walk away. Freaking dork. Yeah. Freaking nerds.
Hard to pull that off when you're at Adepticon.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're there, you're a nerd too.
Yeah, do you think there's a lot of that goes on? A lot of the like, hey babe, I'm gonna show you these boots. A lot of fucking dorks there, but just bear with me.
The hierarchy in nerddom is just as bad as nerds and jocks in high school. Like there's alpha nerds, and the kind I'm talking about.
Yeah,
they're just as brutal, just as cruel as the jocks were in high school.
Would you say a game volunteer is at the bottom of that, or the top?
No, I think some volunteer as they see it as a way to be up here in the alphas.
But in the real world,
in the real world, they're at the bottom. Yeah, they're the
that's what I said.
They're the cucks.
Yeah. And who's not? The people who hired them.
Right, they're the alphas.
They're the alphas because they're like, you know how much money I made from these fucking nerds in 4 days? And look at this kid. I didn't even pay him. I own these people.
They were like, this is stuff they pay me to do. I don't do it, and I get these suckers to do it instead.
Yeah. I gave him stuff that I didn't even count as inventory, but we're good. Are there any games that you foresee in the future that from not a con perspective, but from a game store perspective, you would like to run stuff with no expectation of pay or whatever, just a straight up volunteer that you want to do?
I think pay doesn't come into it for us at all.
No.
Because they're never going to pay us enough for us to care. Because we're all incredibly, incredibly wealthy.
Yeah. It's, again, you're doing it because you want to do it.
Right.
Not everybody, Mike. That's you.
Well, those are the people that are doing it. If you're doing it.
I think you get like younger volunteers, but they don't want like 16-year-olds because they want more mature people doing this volunteering, and you have to want to do it.
I'll tell you, there have been times I'm at Adepticon and I see someone in a staff shirt and they don't even know what planet they're on. And like, you're just a warm body. You got yourself a swag bag ticket for free or whatever. Mm-hmm. And you don't even know, like I remember asking, hey, because I think I was running something. I'm like, we're supposed to get like some, maybe like an award or where I hit my tickets to, and no one knows anything. And it's like, you're just a warm body. And maybe that's all that people want. Someone to pack up trucks, at the beginning and the end. That's totally cool. But I'd hate to be a game company that's represented by somebody like that.
I like to show up when Todd is setting up his booth, not to help, but just to watch other people work. That's sort of volunteering, I guess.
Yeah.
I've helped. I mean, for Adepticon, if it's spring break for me that week, I've helped Todd set up his booth and all of that.
I've showed up and not helped, but was there and offered moral support.
Yeah, Biran will stand.
Yeah, I've seen you there. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's watching people with like, a big gulp in hand, watching someone hard at work. And then like a blister pack falls on the ground, he just laughs.
You want me to get that? Because I'm not gonna.
Hey, you
Drop
missed,
something.
you missed a spot. So is there any games that you think you'd want to, like, that you could think of, like games that are out now or coming out now, or that you would like to attach yourselves to on a volunteer basis?
No.
No. Xtreme?
No, I mean, I could see potentially volunteering to like run events and stuff, but like trying to do demos for games, there's nothing that jumps to mind.
Okay.
I'll volunteer for some zit cream.
Yeah. Like a influencer for that?
Yeah. This
Like we need a
video
clear-
brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends and Oxyclear.
We need an upper 40s Clearasil guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be you.
I mean, would I even run something for Todd? Like, so I'm thinking about doing an Age of Sigmar thing relatively soon at the store, but it's only going to be friendly as Grog nerds only.
You said that last time.
Yeah, but he needed us last time. He doesn't need us anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't need us this time, but yeah, I'll run events. I'm helping out with the Blood Bowl. I'm still doing Chaos Cup stuff. I'm going to help out with a local Blood Bowl tournament in end of May. But
Where's that at?
Rodney Dangerfield's going to run one.
Wow.
He's dead.
Yeah. He's not dead. He's alive and well in the state of Wisconsin.
He is. But I'm doing it because he's a good guy.
Well, also he gets no respect.
Yeah, that's true. But and it's going to force me to learn the new rules.
Now, let me ask you, Mike, are you more of a, yeah, sure, I'll help. You're not seeking out anything to run. It just falls on your lap and you don't say no, right?
Basically, yeah. I mean,
it's not bad.
If you look at what I run the tournaments at big conventions. So they take care of all the press and all. I'm not good at that stuff. I'm not good at promotion. So Chaos Cup was kind of its own thing. And I was still more the behind the scene kind of guy. So that works out.
You'd much rather let the convention take care of the nuts and bolts. You just worry about the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I rarely ran small events unless it was just a local group and we're just like, hey, we're gonna have a tournament. Let's do this. And
I like that Mike runs the Blood Bowl at Adepticon because it gives him some place to hang out.
Yeah. Well, because normally that room is a kind of a chill room.
Right.
So
and somehow we kind of got into this. We get our own room, and
it's in a good way bigger than you need, so you can people's bags are there. You're luggage check / tournament organizer.
Like I'll buy something in the thing, and I'll go. I'm going to leave this with Mike.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine.
Here's our corner at. We can line stuff up. I think it's great that you've got that, and it's also, especially Blood Bowl. Like you've done it enough times where it's almost like autopilot for you.
Yeah.
Besides the new rules, that's a different story.
Yeah, which is a little dangerous sometimes because then I'm like, oh shit, I got to do all this, boom, 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 because you get too comfortable. But yeah. I just think that I don't see myself wanting to do it. But then again, if a game store needed help, then yeah, I mean, it really depends on the relationship there. Todd is a friend, so we jumped at it. But a local store here, probably not. I don't see it ever happening. I just don't have that kind of relationship. So I think it kind of depends because it's not about, money, obviously. It's about do I need to do this or can I just come and play that day?
Would you still do it like an SRG event at Adepticon?
Yeah, that's tough. I don't think so. I'm kind of turned off from them right now.
Is it the promos?
Yeah. It sucks to I want to be a casual player, but I can't buy cards I want because I don't know when things are coming out. I don't know, and it's still a great game. I'll never take anything away from that, but I don't feel as connected as I once did. So I probably wouldn't run one anymore.
Yeah, it was, I hate to say this, but when it was smaller, I kind of, I felt like I knew what was going on, and now there's all these different promo cards, and I have no idea.
Yeah.
And again, the skill level's gotten up here, and I'm still down.
Totally, and same here. And it's not a knock on the organization. It's more of just it's not my level of interest anymore. It's and I'm not saying I don't like things that get too big. It's just I like the idea of like knowing what the hell was going on, frankly.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. So probably, Biran, to answer your question, I probably wouldn't run that unless it was just like a closed group with people we've played with. But even so, I'd rather just play now. I'd rather not run. Things out here, like I've played in 2 Necromunda campaigns. I didn't run anything. It's kind of funny. One guy knew me from Mike Haley, who
Oh yeah.
he's like, this guy just threw a chaos cup. I'm like, shut the fuck up, man.
I don't know anything about Blood Bowl.
Yeah, like I'm trying to be in my secret identity, as in I'm nobody. But because I don't want someone to go, hey, would you be interested in? The answer is no. Before we get any further, the answer is no. I just want to play games. So there is that mode of, which kind of sucks sometimes too. If you're used to running things, well, if no one else does it, I guess I'm just not going to be a part of the thing. Because what's the alternative? You do it. And that causes the whole volunteer situation again. So you have to be one or the other. You either do it and shut up and like it, or be okay with someone else doing it, or not at all. Because if no one runs anything, then it doesn't exist. And that could happen at a convention. That was why I wanted to ask the question earlier about if someone prompted you to run something, almost guilt trip. If I don't get anyone to do this, I don't know if we're going to have it.
Like, all right. I'll call that bluff.
Right. It's like, well played. Still a no. So, all right. Anything else regarding volunteering?
I think we all agree that volunteering, I think there's two, like in Mike, what Mike says, him volunteering to run Blood Bowl at Adepticon is a much easier thing for him to do than to volunteer at a booth for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's also how much effort do you have to put in. Like me volunteering to help Todd load carpet tiles is easier than me volunteering to help him out with a magic event. Ooh, look at is that a magma droth?
It is. Nobody's riding it yet, but the magma droth is done.
Now, are you the type of person that will paint that completely before putting the rider on it?
No.
Good. And will you make it a magnet trough and actually allow you to put a rider in there and remove him?
I thought about it because it would be incredible to do that, because the guys go from foot to rider, and
one less thing to paint.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay, understood. Yeah, Biran, good point about the level of volunteer. At a booth is miserable, the whole experience, because there's no, Mike, you said that when you said there was downtime, you meant tournaments, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I should have looking back now when you said that, I should have clarified, because we were talking apples and oranges there. I think about the times I volunteered at a booth and there was zero downtime. That's a different animal altogether. That's at a booth. It's people walking by, and what do you want to sit down and go on your phone? That's not going to fly. Get back out there in the front lines. I'm paying you. I mean, the
guy I'm paying is sitting on his ass on his phone, but you aren't getting paid. You better be working.
I'm doing social media. Can you show them a demo real quick? You're not.
Yeah, but that's for a game that you don't work for.
Right.
I have a funny volunteering story at a convention.
Okay.
I was walking through Gencon, and one of the smaller booths asked me if I could watch their booth for them so they could go to the bathroom.
Did you say yes and then rob them blind?
Well, that's what I was like. You don't know me. Like, I just walked up here, and you're going to trust me. So
you have an honest face.
And when you gotta pee, you gotta pee.
Yeah.
Well, and also, like we were talking about the, Drew Carey, Price is Right. It's not your money. The guy at the booth, he's got to take a piss. That ain't his models.
Well, why did Drew Carey get mad when that guy figured out how to scam the system? It's not his fucking prize. It's not his Kia Soul with California emissions that got stolen.
Maybe it was. Why else would you be that mad?
And he didn't even steal. They didn't rotate their prizes enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Xtreme, what happened? He took a piss and you did it?
Yeah, he was gone for like 15 minutes.
Whoa.
But I don't know if there was a line or what was going on.
You think he contemplated
Thankfully,
killing
it wasn't a
himself?
very busy booth because there was only like 2 people that came up, and
You said, I don't know anything about this weird anime hentai stuff.
It took him 15 minutes to get to the roof to contemplate killing himself.
Yep.
probably.
And then said, you know what? I do have something to live for. Let me go talk to that bearded fellow about taking my post back.
What was the booth? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I mean, it was mostly dice that they were selling, but it wasn't Chessex, one of the bigger ones. It was like dice and like small card games. But
Why are you even
probably
here?
like
You can't possibly be making the money it costs to fund this booth.
right, and that's what I kind of wondered when he left. I was like, is he thinking about how much he spent on this booth and he's like running for it or something?
Was this at Adepticon or Gencon?
Gencon.
Wow. That's a big expense
Maybe
right
he was
there.
selling weed, and that's how he makes his money.
You think they're like hemp dice?
No, he's selling a single D6 for $35. Wink, wink.
Yeah. So Xtreme, you were the the bathroom fodder for that, and that was enough to realize I'm not doing this.
Did you ask him when he left if it was a number 1, number 2?
No.
You know what he said?
I probably should have. I think I was just more stunned that you would ask a stranger.
He said, let's roll off and find out.
I won't know till I sit down.
Or then whatever the result is, that's what he has to make.
Oh, 6. Oh, shit.
What's a 6?
Poop, pee, cum, snot, blood?
It's like, somehow he's got to bleed too. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a
Poop,
6.
pee, cum, shit, blood, spit.
How come, like, whether you're 5 years old or 50, the joke about what numbers things are is never not funny? And not just what numbers they are, but what the other ones should be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
3 through whatever. Well, if anyone watching this has a volunteer story, good or bad, I know this seemed a bit negative, but that's just our experiences with it. So why not talk about it? I'd love to hear about it. Put it in the comments. Obviously, follow on social media at Zlurpcast. Join the Zlurp Nation. We put out a new video, a bonus video for just the Zlurp Nation about every month. So make sure to sign up with that. You don't get spam. You just get bonus content. That's about it. Pretty sweet, right? Subscribe, ring the bell. We might talk about maybe going live one of these days. So you want to ring the bell so you get notified of that live video so you can kind of be a part of it. Start chiming in where you want to. Right now, we're at about 200 subscribers. When we hit 1,000, we're waiting for Biran to have his pants off. It hasn't happened yet because we're still a long way from that. So I don't know what's going on with that. It was like we were here, we relaunched it, and then we've plateaued. And every now and then it's like, boop, boop. So I don't know what we have to do. Do we need thumbnails with tits? Like, I don't know what the rule is anymore.
We need to do top 10 lists, thumbnails with tits, controversial things.
Maybe the thumbnails with the word aren't really working. Maybe we should do like a screen cap or something.
Yeah.
But
I think it's the length of our videos, actually.
Too long or short?
Too long.
What?
Hmm?
Interesting.
I think it messes with the algorithm. That's why like people that do like live streams in addition to the regular content that tend to be longer, set up secondary channels so it doesn't mess up the algorithm.
Wow. Well,
That's my theory anyway. And also we're incredibly boring.
Yeah. And unpleasant to the eye and the ear.
Yeah, look at this thing. Wow.
I know.
Oh,
I'm not the
Brian's got
target audience, but if I click on a video and it's an hour long, no, I'm not watching it.
It depends. If I'm building stuff and doing hobby, then I want a long one. But Joe Rogan's videos are 19 hours long and he makes it bank.
The way I look at it though is this is just our podcast, but on video.
Yeah.
And people seem to, gaming people, again, comment if I'm wrong here, gaming people seem to enjoy longer podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they like 30-minute podcasts. They want 2 hours. So deliver it in video form. You can listen if you choose. That was my thought with it. So,
Xtreme's got his Zlurpcast shirt on.
he does. Where can you get that at, Xtreme?
At zlurpcast.net.
Oh yes.
Yeah. That is the right place. There's a link in the description that works. There's a little trick I have to do. I don't want to get too technical, but Biran does what's called a copy and paste.
Mm-hmm.
And when you actually publish the video, the links don't work anymore.
Oh, that's gay.
I got to take that, put it in Notepad or Notepad equivalents, take it back and put it back in there, and remove all the extra code that you don't see. So it's kind of like if you
so maybe I'll just not put any of the letters in there.
probably don't do it.
Yeah, okay.
Let me just skip it and let me do it. I should have just said that. I never did. It's kind of like if anyone's ever edited, like if you do any HTML editing and you take something from Word and pop it in, it's all fucked.
Oh yeah.
Like you got div tags everywhere. You don't want.
That's why you got to do like insert and use that functionality.
Well, if you go into Notepad and start from scratch or paste it directly into the code, but this is, it's weird. So the links will work. There's a link to zlurpcast.net to buy stuff. There is a link to Zlurp Nation to join as well. And obviously links to our social media, which those aren't actually links. So I don't know why I brought it up. Outside of that, Zlurpcast discussion, Facebook group. Sometimes we'll post an old picture. There was an old one with Xtreme and Roofer playing a game of grab ass in the parking lot. Did you guys see that one?
Is that the one with the hockey jersey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man mask.
Spider-Man's playing grab ass. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I said I thought it was Kevin Smith, but the jersey was too small.
Yeah. In the Spider-Man costume?
No, because he wears hockey jerseys that are 10 times too big for him.
But he is big.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Well,
If he had the heart attack and became a vegan,
well, I knew all that, but he's not a small guy though.
He's pretty skinny now.
How much do you think he weighs?
I'd say maybe 200.
yeah, he's probably under 200.
You think he's under 200? Wow. All right. Well, maybe some
Because he
more.
has more estrogen in his body than testosterone, so that's why he can't put.
Maybe we'll get some more movie pop-ups. You know, the movies restaurant, and get that number back up.
Yep.
Next episode will be a game review. Any brainstorming here? We want to give anyone a little
No
tease.
hints.
Is that because you don't know?
It's because I don't know.
I don't know.
Sure. What were you gonna say?
I think it's going to be Yahtzee.
Oh, the Yiddish game.
I don't want to cover Yahtzee because I've already given my 5 stars, my 5 Slurpees. I don't want another thing to contend with that one because it's a perfect game. By the way, what happens if the dice are stacked in Yahtzee? Because you have a cup, right?
Yep.
And if you end up with, because people stack dice,
I think you have to keep them how they're rolled and separate them like this.
Yeah.
I
been
think
addressed.
people that play Yahtzee don't use the cup that way. I think they tip the cup and let things fall out.
They don't slam it like those asshole Blood Bowl players.
Yeah.
Do people use dice towers in Yahtzee?
No.
They call them Yachts Towers.
Yeah.
Just sounds like a cool name. Yachts. Yo Spike, I got the yachts. That is Zlurpcast. We have Xtreme in the Zlurpcast shirt, if you didn't already know. Drinking a chocolate sundae, it looks like. Do you drink a sun? You eat a sundae, but drink a milkshake, right?
Did we both have Culvers today, Brian?
It was just delivered to me. This is the Earth Day dessert.
Oh, so it's a ground up tree or something?
You know, I was a day early. I had a cookies and cream from Chick-fil-A yesterday, and that was great. Mike, do you have any milkshakes?
No.
You
I
plan?
eat dairy.
Oh, that's too bad.
No dairy, no tomatoes,
Yeah.
no pretzel.
I
bun.
will eat cheese, but I can't do ice cream anymore. I'll shit like a river.
Ooh, like a river?
Like a river.
I mean, it cleans you
What
out.
number is that?
Yeah, what number is that?
It's like 2.5.
When it sounds like a hissing snake coming out of your butt.
Oh yeah. And you got to clean the toilet too because it came out with such
Oh, rim.
force and bounced up and
And your butt's completely covered, and
yeah.
the toilet seat is like a stencil.
That's sick. You think anyone, you think Grognard's toilet seat ever had a stencil on it?
Yes. I've never shit at Grognard games.
I'll tell you what. You know what
On
happened?
purpose.
So the other day I was at getting one of my massages, and I have a feeling that whoever
Sean Watson special or a normal massage?
it's normal. It was Massage Envy, but I have a girl there. You know, that's only her because she's amazing. I have a feeling whoever cleans the men's bathroom never bothers to lift the seat up to clean.
Mm-hmm.
Because I lifted it up to pee, even though it had the opening, because I'm like, well, just in case I don't want to pee on the seat.
Did you use your foot?
I used not my foot. I think I actually used a paper towel.
Okay.
Because I was already in the middle of I think locking the doors. I don't know. I already did something germphobe, which was over the top. But anyway, I lifted the seat up, and there was so much shit caked on the bottom of the seat, like dry. It was both dry and wet, like because someone took a shit and it splashed up, and
It looked like someone just slathered a casserole all over.
Yeah, and I'm like, my plan was to not have a messy pee, but guess what I'm doing now? Like I'm doing like
cleaning it off.
I'm not gonna manually clean it, but if I get some by spray, but I'm like, now I'm taking a step back, and now I'm doing
You're doing them a favor.
like imagine, I don't know if games still have this, but like grenade launcher had a minimum distance back in the day.
Yeah.
I couldn't fire it at 3 inches. That was me, because I'm like, come on. Anyway.
Now, have you ever had a massage by a guy?
Yeah. I will tell you what, I have no issue with it, but I have found the guys like to talk more, and I'm not looking to talk.
You're right.
So,
I don't like to talk at all.
Yeah, I found that most guys want to talk about random stuff, especially guy on guy, sports, or like one guy decided to get into politics, which we were similar.
Oh my God. Well, even then, even if someone is my politics, I don't want to talk about it when I'm getting my stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to relax. There ain't nothing about Trump, pro or against, that is relaxing in any way, shape, or form. So why are we doing this? Yeah. So anyway, I didn't know we were going to end on piss massage talk and shit talk, but that's how we try.
You got to listen to the end, everybody.
That's why you get Grognard as a sponsor.
That's right.
Ding. Just kidding. He don't like us, and we don't like him. He's going to be on Xtreme.
I have no qualms about shitting in a toilet, though, because
that's right.
I actually stopped there because I had a shit and I couldn't make it home. So I walk in, just walk to the back. Then I got to buy something, though. So
yeah, you have
to buy something.
Yeah.
I don't, obviously, some people, Mike, you have no problem shitting anywhere.
No, not at all.
I try to avoid public where I can. But one thing I cannot stand at all is when the bathrooms are super close to the patrons of the store. Like I remember,
exit and they'll know what you did in there.
Yes. So when Heather and I did that road trip, we went, East Coast, ton of driving, stopped at a Subway, and I just had to shit. It was like going to be coming out. Ran in, guy's bathroom, out of order, whatever. Going to the girls. It was a one-seater anyway. I come out. This was like, how some people in a restaurant, even a Subway, like they like to sit in the further away section. Usually you have like a main dining area.
Yeah.
And then one along the skinny hallway.
And you have one on the skinny wall by the bathrooms.
Yeah.
That area was packed. And I was just like, I will never see you again. And it was so embarrassing.
Did they have like their meatball sub went?
It fucking reeked. I'm so glad I'll never, visit some random place in suburban Philadelphia again, but that's where it happened.
I got a buddy that we can't go to the Red Robin in Deer Park because he had what they call a code brown.
Oh.
Everywhere.
Did I tell you my Hooters code brown story?
No.
Okay.
Oh God, no.
We'll do. So Biran, I don't know if you want to cut it earlier.
Well, let's do the ending. Thanks for joining.
Are you?
Zlurpcast! Brought to you by McMurdy's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loathing it.